Alessandro Michele loves to take us on a journey. I'm not sure it was a journey I was necessarily prepared for, with the models with their heads under their arms.
Alessandro has such a cinematic vision. I think he actually worked with a special effects crew from Cinecittà on those pieces.
Liked Gucci. You know, I liked that I could see Gucci, being able to actually have lights on where everybody could see all of the details. It was so wonderful to see all the workmanship that went into every single piece.
What I loved about Gucci was the weird surgical beds, lights. So you have this hyper reality of the light for the clothes and the weird severed heads that walked along and the dragon.
He certainly makes us rethink the conventional ideas of beauty, and he makes us rethink how we look at fashion and the runway today. And I think staying relevant, it's very important that we're constantly reinventing ourselves.
You know, what's eclectic as always, but you see him pushing things forward, you see him bringing in new elements. You know, his mind is really expansive, and the ability that he has to bring in disparate ideas and to make something that cohesive and is so, you know, now so inspirational and so representative of Gucci is a powerful thing.
I love the way it's always a little bit left of field. It evokes emotion, which I think is always a good thing whenever you see a fashion show. That's what makes it a memorable experience. It's like a piece of theatre, so I loved it. I mean, each piece is so worked and so individualised that you take memories away of each piece like that, rather than a sea of just things. It had this little bespoke coutureness about it, which I loved.
Gucci has such a huge fan base and so many followers. It was very important that he took a new direction to the collection this season, even if that did mean having a head under the arm of a model or two. Don't try that at home. But certainly talked about moment where the influencers, the bloggers, and social media have had quite a great time with the whole idea. A very strong collection constantly from Alessandro. You know, he's brought a new spirit to Milan.
Some people who argued that the heads were a distraction, or all of the creatures were a distraction from the clothing. I think it's just adding another element, another talking piece, and of course I think it's, you know, Instagram fodder. So that worked perfectly well, especially when you see people replacing the heads with a chant of Trump or things like that. So it definitely, you know, created this desire with people within the industry, people who weren't there, to, you know, rework it for themselves, which I think is an interesting proposition.
Even if it looks costumey on the runway, it's actually real clothes. It's a cardigan, it's a coat, it's a full skirt. Those are clothes that people can really relate to. They might have lots of artifice and embellishments, but or pattern and print, but in the end they're clothes. They're not just sort of schmata. a colleague of mine was seated amongst, a very young set of millennials, and she just said that to be among them and just to see their excitement, it's a brand that's really connecting with young people right now, and I think that that's fantastic and also really important for its success. It's such a phenomenon, Gucci, right now, and everyone asks, can the phenomenon keep going, each season, and actually, yes, it can. The business is doing incredibly.
Gucci was a strong collection. There is so much attention on this show because I think everybody finds something in this collection. So it's crazy styling, great casting, great settings, and great clothes that everybody wants to wear. So I think that makes Gucci a strong, strong, strong collection.
I loved Gucci. I mean, Gucci, it was written on Michel Foucault. It's this like different world. So looking at model diversity, this wasn't even model diversity. It was like people who were headless, people who had horns, people who had, so it was even like cyborg. It wasn't even like human beings. It was fantastic. And the clothes take you from a fantasy of like Elizabethan all the way to hip hop, all in one season. It's just mental, and that's exactly what it should be. Fun.